Take a look at this chart comparing global murder rates. Back in 2015, the bar for El Salvador towered over the rest of the world. With a population of roughly 6 million, the country was seeing over 100 murders for every 100,000 inhabitants, making it one of the most violent places on the planet. To understand how that violence was sustained, we have to look at the environment that fed it. Take a composite case based on real reports. A 15-year-old named Juan. Abandoned by his parents at age 9, Juan grew up in extreme poverty. To survive the streets, he was forced into the ranks of Barrio 18, one of the country's 2 major street gangs. On March 22, 2022, a sudden wave of violence broke the status quo. In a single day, 60 innocent people and bystanders were slaughtered by the gangs. The bloodshed was widely recognized as the collapse of a suspected secret truce between the government and the criminal underworld. The brutality of that single day shifted the national priority. In a country exhausted by decades of gang rule, the public began to demand immediate, absolute retaliation at any cost. Leading that charge was President Nayib Bukele. Following the massacre, his government declared a strict state of emergency. Almost overnight, basic civil liberties were suspended, eliminating the freedom of assembly and stripping away a citizen's right to legal counsel. That mandate quickly translated into chaos on the ground. Police units were handed strict arrest quotas, leading to massive, rapid sweeps where thousands of people were detained directly off the streets, entirely without warrants. Once arrested, those swept up were subjected to mass trials. In crowded courtrooms, anonymous masked judges began processing up to 900 defendants at the exact same time, deciding their pretrial detention in a single sweep. The justice system transformed into an industrial pipeline. It is a mechanism re-engineered to physically remove bodies from the population as fast as possible. That pipeline leads directly to a newly constructed mega-prison, the Center for the Confinement of Terrorism, or CCOT. It is a sprawling fortress wrapped in a 2-kilometer-long concrete wall designed to withstand car bombs, with the capacity to hold up to 40,000 inmates. This graphic illustrates the sheer scale of the incarceration policy. Over 70,000 arrests have been made since the state of emergency began, meaning the government has successfully imprisoned approximately 2% of the country's entire adult population. Because of the aggressive arrest quotas and mass trials, human rights organizations and local humanitarian groups report that up to 1/3 of the people locked inside those walls are likely completely innocent. Inside this framework, the destruction of thousands of innocent lives is not treated as a systemic failure. It is accepted as a necessary tax to achieve total state security. For those swept inside, like our composite case 1, physical erasure begins immediately at intake. Personal possessions are confiscated, heads are shaved bald, and issued identical white uniforms. They are then moved into a severely crowded, windowless cell with roughly 90 other men. There are no beds, only 4-story metal shelves to sleep on, and the entire hall is kept under blinding artificial light 24 hours a day. The physical toll is immense. During the first year of the state of emergency, over 150 inmates died in custody. Reports emerged of bodies being disposed of in mass graves, with families never notified of the deaths. Any attempt to communicate with the outside world or cause a disturbance triggers a strict punishment protocol. Guards transfer the offending inmate into a solitary, concrete bunker featuring a water basin, a concrete bench, and absolutely zero lighting. Stripped of privacy, natural light, and basic human contact, CCOT functions as a massive sensory deprivation machine. The architecture itself is engineered to permanently break the human will and erase the individual. As a 15-year-old, Juan's maximum possible sentence inside this facility is 15 years, which raises a pressing question: what happens to these inmates when they finally serve their time? There are no rehabilitation programs planned. Criminologists warn that pulling individuals off the street and subjecting them to severe abuse without any developmental opportunities mathematically guarantees they will return to violent behavior upon release. But look at this line graph tracking El Salvador's annual homicides. From the staggering highs of 2015, the national murder rate sharply dropped, bottoming out at just 154 total murders in 2023. Bukele's administration now exists in a state of global friction. While international human rights watchdogs condemn the systematic abuse inside the prisons, the citizens living on those once deadly streets are currently his most vocal supporters. Achieving that safety required systematically dismantling the country's democratic guardrails. Bukele previously marched armed soldiers into parliament to force a vote, and he bypassed the constitution to secure a second term in office. And while the street gangs have been suppressed, extreme poverty, the foundational economic driver that forces young people into gangs in the first place, has doubled during his administration. El Salvador succeeded in building the world's most inescapable prison to cage its monsters. But by centralizing absolute power and stripping away the legal rights of its citizens, the country accidentally locked its own democracy inside.